Good morning, teacher and classmates. Welcome to my video presentation. The topic I want to talk to you today is the importance of wasps in the environment. So, before I begin to explain why they're important, I first want to talk about why people see wasps the way they do. Like why they hate them so much, or why they think they're nothing more than a pest. Because if you think about it, bees and wasps are not that different. They're both yellow and black, they both sting you, and they both annoy you during summer. So why do people hate wasps so much? Well, one of the main reasons is that people generally don't know a lot about wasps, so they think that they don't contribute anything of value to the environment, that they're simply aggressive, and that they enjoy hurting or stinging people during summer. But when this is simply not true. There was a survey done by the Royal Entomology Society in which they interviewed around 700 people, I think, and they asked them to rank several insects on a scale that went from -5 to +5, +5 being that they liked them, and -5 being that they hated them. The results of this survey showed that the answers for bees were mostly above 3, while the answers for wasps were mostly below -4, sorry. So this really goes to show how much people hate wasps and how there's a general dislike towards them by society. In the next slide here, there's a picture. This is an example. This is another survey that was done in which they asked a group of people to say the words that came to mind when they heard the words bee and they heard the word wasp. The bigger the word, the more common that the answer was. As you can see here, where it says bees, the most common answers were words such as honey, buzz, flowers, sting, pollination, pollen. And if you look carefully, you'll see more words such as summer, pretty, endangered, yellow, flowers. And if you look over here to the right side, towards where the word is wasps, the most common answer was sting, and the rest of the answers are words such as annoying, aggressive, pest, bane, useless. So once again, this shows how much the way people think about wasps generally. One of the main reasons why people think of wasps the way they do is the general lack of information regarding wasps. If you ask anyone, they'll tell you that wasps, exist only to sting you, they annoy you, and they don't provide anything of value to the environment. For example, if you ask here my classmate Diego, he'll tell you exactly that. And this is a belief that is encouraged by the fact that wasps are one of the least investigated or researched insects by scientists in the insect kingdom. But why is this? Well, there's no clear answer. There's just a really small amount of research papers and investigations regarding wasps in the last 20 years. But one of the research that I could find was one that was very interesting because it showed that certain species of wasps are able to recognize faces of other wasps, which leads scientists to believe that they may be able to recognize human faces as well, because they process them in a way that's very similar to the way that our brains process people's faces and are able to remember them. Okay, so now finally, it's time to talk about the vital role of a wasp in our environment. Well, there's three main roles that they have. Here I'm going to talk about the first one. The first one is that there's a certain types of wasps that the way they build their hives, it's a material that's very similar to paper mache. I think that's how you pronounce it. And in certain communities that are more like not very modernized, they use the empty hives when the wasps move on or they die. They use the empty hives to make materials to use. For example, they use them to make paper, or other materials so they can use in their communities. The next uh, thing that wasps contribute to the environment is in the process of pollination. This is very similar to bees, but if you remember during the previous slide where I showed the two pictures with words, and the part where it was about wasps, there was not a single person that answered pollination, which again cements the fact that people don't know a lot about wasps. And in some cases, wasps, as you can see here, are better at pollination than bees because there's certain species of flowers that are pollinated exclusively by wasps, not by bees or any other insect, only by wasps, which, as you can see, shows that they are important to maintaining or continuing to allow these species of flowers to exist and grow. The next and final and arguably most important role of wasps in our environment is pest control. This is very important because wasps, they they hunt a lot of smaller insects such as flies or certain species of caterpillars that are often considered pests or plagues by people. For example, with nowadays in certain farms, they're doing a thing where they catch or get shipped a hive of wasps and they use it as a natural pesticide in their fields. They release them, they let them live there, and the wasps help them control the amounts of caterpillars and flies that can negatively affect their crops. According to a study, a fully grown, mature wasp colony is able to consume or kill between 3,000 and 4,000 insects per day in summer, which is, well, yes, during summer, which is something that's very, very important because imagine if they didn't, there'd be 3,000 or 4,000 more insects annoying us during summer. And finally, just as a conclusion, I just want to say that wasps are one of the most um, misunderstood insects in our world because a lot of people don't know why wasps annoy them during, for example, like if you go out to a picnic where there's always wasps around. Well, this is because of the way that wasps reproduce, because they hunt other for insects to feed to the larvae, and the larvae produce a type of sweet substance that they use to feed the adult wasps. And during summer, there's not a lot of larvae because it's not reproduction season for the wasps. So they go out and they are attracted by sweet drink, for example, like sodas or other, for example, if you have food, that's why they are attracted to it. It's not because they want to go and sting you and annoy you, but it's just because they're trying to eat something. So I want to thank you all for your time and for paying attention to my video presentation about wasps. Thank you very much.